Welcome to T.P.S. Vlogs. I'm your host, Miss Williams. Next we have Birth of the Sequence, Episode 3. Enjoy the show.
There were certain things that were concerning me, and I talked to Dom about them earlier. And one is that they try to push the sequence up against Mercedes Ladies.
Soul music and all of that was just roots that we grew up in, but we was bringing it in another way where we would actually get a beat and we talk about what we was going through in our hood, but it didn't sound sad. It was just telling you about the real grind and the real struggle. So it was almost like a poetic thing, but it was more of us. That was our way of telling our story from our generation. Being part of hip hop and then not knowing what I was doing and not knowing by starting an all-female crew that I was making history. We didn't know where it was gonna go, but it was the power because we was hood famous, and it was the power because we was females and we was going up against an all-male arena. So that we felt powerful. We walked with our heads up high. You know, we never got a dime or got paid, but we used to walk with our sweatshirts. When you seen us coming down the street, oh, Mercedes, young ladies. It was just, we had our little style and swagger, and that made us feel important, and that was happiness to us. That we was getting on the mic and going against the men. That was my happiness, you know. And so my concentration actually became into hip hop. It wasn't into, and to be honest, I think about it like, what did I think I was gonna be? Because we was just doing this hip hop, and I think when the rest of the girls, we used to talk, and so we used to say, yeah, we're gonna eventually make some money. We're gonna open up a club. It's gonna be called the Mercedes Club, and we're gonna promote parties. And this was what we was thinking to do. As you know, this was what our plans was to do. We didn't know where hip hop was gonna go, but we used to get out there and hit the mics and turntables and go right up against these guys. And you know, I guess in a way, when I think about it, my mom, she probably seen a lot of me in her. And I think that's why I was rivalry, because she came here with a dream to be a singer and get out of the South and get out of the racism and come here to New York and be a singer. And I think she's seeing that drive in me. But I guess that's why she was hard on me, but she didn't understand what hip hop was. She just thought I was out there in the streets, and I guess, you know, she was like, she didn't want me to turn out to be on drugs and pregnant and all that. I guess she was trying to protect me, but she got to know that my drive was probably just as much as hers. And if by her moving here, she created history through her children. When I used to go to school, you had mostly all the guys used to have the boombox. So when you get on the bus to go to school, somebody had their boombox and it was playing, and you hear Grandmaster flashing them on the cassette tapes in the boombox, and you would hear Cool Herc and the Herculoids. You know, it was just a vibe. When you go to school, everybody had a boombox. Outside the school, everybody had their boombox. Hip hop was in. Chirac went to the same school I went to, Yvette. So I used to see her in the back of the class writing her rhymes. And I used to think her dope, you know, she was so dope, and her flow and stuff like that. So it was, hip hop was always in the streets and in the school. When you go to school, was there. The dudes would be outside with their boombox, the boombox. I even got a picture in the boombox. So that hip hop was just the vibe. That was the thing at the time.
I want everyone out there to know that we never heard of them. We never saw them. They were not out there with us when we were doing what we were doing. I heard of them after the fact, and people say, well, they're the first female rap group. They are to the Bronx, but the first female rap group to the world is the Sequence. And if you don't believe me, you can Google it. Ask who is the first female rap group, and it's going to say the Sequence every time, because that is the timeline. The Bronx has his history. I don't know anything that went on in the Bronx, because when the Sequence came into the game, only thing we heard was King Tim III.
Do it to me, and I do it. Check it out, y'all. About a while ago, I want you to know just who you been with me until I am the voice that kicked Tim III. I'm gonna tell you what I want you to do.
And the Sugar Hill Gang. And by me and Angie being writers and writing a lot during that time, we wrote raps to funk you up. And that's what sealed it for that particular song. That song was written for Bootsy Collins.
Testimonialink Reflection.
Welcome to T.P.S. Blogs. I'm your host, Miss Williams.